Mother is a horror thriller directed by Darren Aronofsky and starring Jennifer Lawrence, Javier Bardem, Ed Harris and Michelle Pfeiffer. I was excited to watch this film because the trailers have been ambiguous at best. They made me very interested in the film. Everyone was talking about it during the festival. We got into the screening, the movie started, then we watched it, and at the end, for the first and honestly only time during the 12 days of the festival, people booed. And people were whistling, angry at the screen. I felt embarrassed to actually applaud at the end, but it wasn't a heartfelt applaud like at the end of Shape of Water or Three Billboards. It was just like, yeah, it wasn't fine. Okay, sorry, didn't mean to upset you all. This movie is messy, to say the least. It is not the masterpiece, it is not the shocking movie that Darren Aronofsky is painting. He's very much in love with Jennifer Lawrence. You can see it in this film, you can see it outside how they were acting during the festival. He's lost his mind and he has made an exaggerated movie. I'm not going to talk about the plot because he wants it to be mysterious, but let's just say that there are many religious and biblical symbolism and references in this film. Some obvious, some not really, but the movie is pretty much just two different halves. The first half is a very interesting thriller where you don't really know what is happening, there is a lot of ambiguity, characters come and go, there is this invasion of privacy that gets very unsettling and weird things start happening. And it gets very intriguing. Then, once you get to the middle, the movie changes and it becomes an insane ride. A ride that honestly gave me some anxiety in the theater because it is a movie about losing control, in being invaded in your own home, not having limits, telling people to do something they don't listen to you. It got incredibly disturbing, but in a very human way, not in the shocking way that the director was attempting. This felt like an attempt to make a new wave French extremist movie like Martyrs or something, but still holding back some of the shocks. So it throws some shocking imagery at you, but it isn't as shocking as it could have been. And that's all sequence, while thrilling in the moment, the more I think about it, it just did not work all that well. And that's the thing about this movie. In the moment, you enjoy it. The more you think about it, the more flaws you start finding. Some things don't make sense at all. It is one of those, it puts more questions than answers. But it has a horrible ending. I hated how it ended. The last 2 minutes of the film, stupid. One of the few times where I would say that an ending was stupid, but honestly this is not a bad film. I've seen 1 star, 2 out of 10. It is not that kind of movie because technically it is very impressive. The camera is always focused on Jennifer Lawrence, who gives a very powerful performance. Even though she doesn't have to show all that range of emotions, she's just confused for the most part and she yells a lot during the second half. But the camera is always focused on her and the entire movie is experienced from her point of view, also in terms of sound design, and she gets some pain sometimes and you start feeling like this whistling sounds and buzzing noises, and when she's confused and waving around. It is very interesting, it is a very subjective movie in terms of point of view, and I like that. I really like that. The direction in terms of art, in terms of set design, it is great. And especially during the second half, I'm not going to spoil it, but the set becomes incredible. There are some seamless transitions that keep you confused and it's a joy to watch. That I truly loved. The music, the sound design is excellent. The music itself, it's made by Jon Johansson, which is very ambient noisy like in Sicario and Arrival. Doesn't stand out as much, but that's not a negative at all, and the special effects were good. Some of the CGI in the beginning and the end was a bit overboard, almost Noah level, but honestly, this is not a bad film. It is also not really scary. I did not find it scary. I found it mildly disturbing during the second half, very interesting in the first half, but I just never loved it. But I am one of the few people that actually really enjoyed it. It is an enjoyable film. and watching it straightforward without focusing all that much on what is happening is really the best way to experience it, even though it isn't the right way, the way that the director wanted to make it. Because if you focus on it, it's just too obvious, if it makes sense. Like, he's trying so hard to shock you, but at the same time to give you religious imagery and some meaning behind it, but there just isn't enough meat to the bone. You just look at it and you're like, okay, it's fine. Once you start biting it, you're like, ah, this is just a piece of bone with some fake meat on it, and you throw it away. Go watch it for yourself. Apparently most of the American critics really liked it. Most other critics and Italian critics did not like it. A lot of people wanted to hate this movie and they hated it. I went in with high expectations. I was a bit disappointed, but it is not a bad film. So definitely check out Mother for yourself. Which is your favorite Darren Aronofsky film? Tell me in the comments below. Thanks as always for watching. Remember to like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video.